Hello everyone, this is Kyle from Mill Street Gardens, and today I'm in our home garden because there's one plant in particular that I wanted to try to propagate, which is the stinking hellebore, or the Helleborous foetidus, I believe it's called. So it's a unique type of hellebore that I wanted to share with everyone. So here it is, the stinking hellebore, or another name for it is the bear claw hellebore, because it has these leaves that kind of look like bear claws. So it's very unique. It does the same thing as other hellebores you may know, in the fact that it has like evergreen foliage and it blooms early in the spring. And perhaps I can put a picture of the blooms on it. It has a really pretty green bloom. But it is different because it grows a little bit differently. It grows as stalks as opposed to like the other form of the hellebore, just grows kind of like an herbaceous perennial. So each one of these stalks is a single plant. So the reason why I'm out here is there's little seedlings, and thought about collecting the seeds over the years. So instead of trying to germinate the seeds in the seed tray, which would be a very complicated process because it's a seed that needs to be sown fresh, and then it needs to go through like a winter, and then it'll germinate the next spring. And there's so many variables that can go wrong in terms of, I'd imagine, like not keeping it adequately moist, and then the seeds drying up and that type of stuff, that I just decided to let Mother Nature take care of the seedlings until they were ready for me to take care of them. Here are some of the seedlings. They germinated this spring, and we're going to dig those up and pot them up. Alright, so now I'm inside my glamorous potting room where we're going to pot some of these guys up. So what I'm using is a 30 tray, plug tray. So we get these from like wholesale suppliers when we buy our plugs in for certain plants. And then, I just reuse them when I do my own propagations. And the reason why I'm using that instead of potting things into like individual pots like this size or whatever, this is my first time doing this. So I'm not sure if they're going to actually live. So instead of potting up 30 or however many of these plants I have here, I can just pot up one tray. So I'm just using that much dirt. So in case like half of them die or all of them die, I don't have like 30 pots full of soil and dead plants, if that makes sense. So we'll pot these up today, and if they're deciding to live, then they'll start to put on some new growth. And from that point, once these are well rooted in this container, then I'll move them to a bigger pot. Alright, so these are the hellebores that we dug up from the garden. They've actually been sitting here all day long, so they're not super happy, but they should be okay. And we're just trying to tease them apart. We're just trying to tease them apart until we get the plants separated from each other. This one has some nice roots on it. And then we're just going to stick them in the container like that, in the south, and pot them up. As you can see, I already got one of them started. So I'm going to go through, I'm going to make sure the soil is tightly packed around each one. It's hard to do with one hand. Go and do all 30 of them and check back in with you. Alright everyone, so I ended up with 2 trays of 20 of these things. Now, I don't expect them all to live, but if they do, that would be awesome. Alright, so here they are. The one thing they do right now is I'm going to water them in really well so that all the dirt settles around the roots. So these guys are really unhappy right now because they're going to experience transplant shock. So one thing I'm going to do to make sure to keep them happy is I'm going to put them in shade. And even if I don't need to water them every day because the soil is still moist, I'll still give them just a quick, like this, just to moisten their leaves to take some of that stress off of them until they're ready, until I start seeing them perk back up. And that's when I know that they're happy. Alright, so I just brought them to our shade hoop over here, and I put them in the spot in the hoop house. So here they will remain until they're ready to be potted up. Alright, and that's all there is to it. So in recap, I chose to dig the seedlings out of the ground because harvesting the seeds fresh and then going through the whole germinating process with that type of plant is pretty complicated, and it's a lot easier just to let Mother Nature do it. So I took them out of the ground and I just transplanted them into 30 cell trays, and then I put them in the shade to protect them from transplant shock. And then something else I got to remember to do is make sure that they get consistent water and fertilization so they can develop the root systems. So anyways, I'll keep you all updated on what happens. I'm really excited to see, potentially see our beautiful Hellebore foetidus plants in the near future. Thank you for watching.